Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is FirstReactionTv. My name is J-Mart. Um, I was scrolling through my homepage and I saw a title where Joe Rogan is called a right winger. So I was kind of curious. Definitely got my attention. This is Valuetainment, I think is the guy's channel, and I just wanted to check it out here quick and see how this conversation goes. So let's check it out. See what makes Joe a right winger.
Let's talk about Joe Rogan. Joe, you were on Joe, I want to say 13 or 14. I don't know what it was. It was when you guys run. It was fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah.
6, 7 years.
And by the way, there was a lot of admiration both sides when you guys were talking, because he was like, the coming up, and that was before he was getting the 11 million an episode.
And this guy's name's in the title, by the way. His name's Cenk Uygur. I have no clue who he is. I guess it's Uygur. That'd be my guess on how you say this name, but not really too sure who this guy is.
Rico, whatever it was. And you were like King Kong, when you guys sat down together. But you made a comment. You said, if Joe's something, I'd kick his ass. I'm taking it out of context. Of course, I'm assuming you were just kidding. You were upset about what he said. Can you unpack that exchange? Comments you made about Rogan.
Yeah, so I like Joe a lot, and we even grabbed lunch. We were friendly. I was thinking of, I even pitched him to be a host on a show we'd pitch to cable or networks, etc. Okay,
Really?
And I like Joe's independent attitude a ton, right? Or what used to be an independent attitude, right? Nowadays, I think he's lost his way. So I think he got captured by the right wing. He doesn't even realize it. Almost all of his guests are right wing or fake left wingers who are pushing for right wing agenda, and so he's surrounded himself with a wall of right wingers, and he's created a bubble. Bill Maher's the same way, a wall of right wingers. They're all their friends are right wing, right? And so now he's not in.
All right, so I don't even know where to start with this guy. I don't know who he is. Apparently, this dude must be as left gets. I watch Bill Maher. I've said this on, some of my earlier videos. I watch Bill Maher every Friday whenever his show's in season. I don't agree with a lot of what Bill says. Like, I really don't. Him and I don't have the same values or matching descriptions politically at all. But I like Bill Maher because Bill Maher just says, once again, what everyone else is thinking, what other people are afraid to say, and Bill Maher is one of those feelings aren't facts type of people, The fact that he is saying, like, Bill is as left as it gets. Like, as left as it gets. And he still is. Like, the stuff he says, like, still doesn't even come close to even, like, being in the middle. Like, Bill is still a champion of things that, independents aren't even, on board with. So the fact that this guy is calling Bill Maher a right-winger and that Bill Maher was captured by the right wing, he already lost me on the Joe Rogan argument. Like, what else do you say to that? I don't... Look, man, I love... seeing clips of Joe Rogan too, because same thing, like, at least, I think he's actually crazy. Like, I think Joe's always been more of a left-leaning person. But I think this goes to, like, show how things are changing. Where if you don't agree with one simple thing or one premise that the left tells you that you have to agree with, dude, they're gonna, dude, they'll do everything in their power to make sure you're never heard from again. Bill has thankfully transcended that because, Bill is not on board, with, like, the whole trans, children thing and, surgeries to young kids. There's a lot of, like, small, like, nuanced things that, like, Bill doesn't share their values, but I'm talking, like, Bill Maher is 99% liberal. And there's just, like, that 1% where he has an honest opinion about stuff. And, like, this shows it. Like, this is the woke ideology right now. You can agree with them about 99 out of 100 things. But if it's that one thing, that one damn thing, you better best bet that they are going to do everything in their power to make sure you disappear. And not only that, you get called a right winger. Like this dude, this is just nuts. Like, this is not, I don't even know who this dude is, but the guy, at the beginning of the show said that he was bigger than Joe Rogan back when they interviewed. So this dude, he must be one powerful, leftist. But it just goes to show with the other narratives, calling black conservatives white supremacists and calling them this, like, it just doesn't stop, man. Like, these people just don't care. They will throw every name in the book at you, and whatever sticks, sticks. And now Bill Maher and Joe Rogan are right wingers.
Independent. He doesn't do both sides. He doesn't have real.
That's bull.
The right wing?
Yeah, of course.
You think Joe's right wing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and so is he
Right of
wing?
where, though, Cenk?
No, do I think he's right?
Right
wing?
of center or right of you?
No, right of center. Okay, but
Rogan?
Okay,
Good point. Right of center, right of independence, or just right of how far extreme left you are. Because if you're on the far, far left, as extreme and as woke as you can get, man, anyone on, just maybe like one little step over from you, hey, they're on the right side, so they must be a right winger too. Even if they're still not even close to being on the line of, being in the middle. Like, these people are just, there's no thought process behind this, man. There's none.
okay,
Bill Maher, too, you're saying?
again, it depends on the issues. So you can take an issue that Bill Maher is super liberal on and go, come on, you can't call him right wing, right? But I could show you 10 issues where he's just obsessed with cancel culture and only from the left wing perspective, not the right wing perspective. He loves, by the way, Bill Maher loves corporate Democrats. Okay, just loves them to pieces. So, so to me, on economic issues, he's same
This just in. Bill Maher hates cancel culture. Right winger.
issues as
Great
all those
point.
corporate Democrats. Anyways, so Joe, it's a matter of emphasis. So I hear that he's pro-choice, but does he ever talk about that? Almost never, right? But on any right-wing issues, oh my God, trans rights, this, that, the other thing, he's like super animated about, right? Whenever
This just in. Joe Rogan has an opinion. Joe Rogan has an original thought in his head that's an opinion. Can't have that or you're right wing. I mean, dude, these people, man, this is why people can't get on their side. This is why people call them crazies and this and that. Like, how can you get on board with this? He literally just said that Joe Rogan is a right winger because he had an opinion. People like this, man, make me sick, and I honestly think people like him are ruining the country. It's
a right-wing issue, he will spend hours and hours and hours discussing it. If he has left-wing positions, not a peep. There's a thing called audience capture, where your audience starts to go in a certain direction. It starts to build momentum. Then if you try to change, all of a sudden your audience numbers drop and people panic, okay? Now, Joe's already rich, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that.
so that must mean, Bill Maher is preaching to right wingers every week. Or wait a second. Oh, his show's all liberals? Huh. Let's do that math.
I think he got more guest captured than audience captured, but like guys like Jimmy Dore get audience captured like crazy. So once they, like Jimmy Dore used to be on the left, and he was doing comedian. He was in our network. One of the worst mistakes I've ever made. And so
Having him on?
yeah.
Okay.
And so he goes independent. Now he's at one point he's doing pro-vaccine videos. He got a vaccine. They're not doing that well, right? Then he does one that's vaccine skeptical. It does great. Okay, so all right. Then he does another one that's vaccine skeptical because he wants the views. He wants the money.
Oh my God, dude. Once again, this guy just described reality. That maybe people were, pro vaccine, pro this, pro that. They heard, you know, it was going to stop the spread. It was going to prevent, you know, people from getting sick. And then, like, that's not what happened. So now he made another video that might have been skeptical. Holy another opinion.
money,
Oh
right?
man.
And so all of a sudden, then next thing you know, he's on 20 videos against vaccines or vaccine skepticism, because that's where the audience is going. That's where the money.
That's
going.
what happened.
And there was a progressive in our network who said, "Look, the same thing happened to me. I was criticizing Democrats so much from a left-wing position, but I was criticizing Democrats. And one day I woke up and I found out my audience is right-wing. Like, I asked him a poll question. Holy cow, these guys are like 70% right-wing. So he's like, I had to make a principled choice there. And I did. And I cut off 70% of my audience. And I started talking more about my left-wing positions, not just anti-Democrat positions.
So his moral choice was to cut off 70% of listeners because they were conservative. If anyone wants to explain to me how that is morally acceptable, even, not alone this all high and mighty choice, I'd love to hear the answer to that. I've already stopped this video a million times. I can't stand this guy. I have no clue who he is, but my God, this guy, dude, like, this is the problem. This is the problem. He made a morally acceptable choice to not have conservatives listen to his show.
Right? So that's what happens. So on Rogan, to your the specific question, so now I have animosity with Rogan, but yeah, I was largely trolling them. Like, and I said it very clearly too, never in the streets, never any violence. Violence is crazy.
Yeah.
I was saying, if you want to step in the ring,
I mean, obviously, you know what would happen if you stepped in there.
so would Joe have a massive advantage? Obviously, look at me. I'm 52. I'm very overweight, etc. But by the way, I don't think it would be a foregone conclusion.
You
Oh
think you could
my
take Joe?
God!
You said you can take Rogan.
Throw one kick and decide you'd be peeing blood for a week. Have you seen his kicks? Like,
Yeah, I've seen his kicks. Okay, so
I
listen.
appreciate.
Dude, anything he says after this, once again, like, dude, I knew this guy was full of it within the first 20 seconds of the video, and now a person who has no physical combat training thinks he's going to beat the man who literally represented the UFC for, what was it, 20 years now? Back when it started? I mean, like, dude, how much more can this guy continue to discredit his own points and his own point of view?
Get your confidence, though. I got to tell you.
No, but I'll tell you why I do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, number one, I'm
Because I'm a condescending liberal, and I think that I'm right no matter what, and anyone else that, thinks differently than me is a, idiotic right-wing agenda, this, like, that's why. Like, that's why.
Person is of course better, and by a lot, right? So, and a guy who's in shape is supposed to a guy not in shape by a lot. So I would do tons of training, etc., and I'd still be a massive underdog. Okay, but I'm a brawler. And so it's not just that I fought my whole life when I was growing up, etc. It's the will in you, right? So if he's going to beat me, he's going to have to beat me.
He will beat you, though.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
a fair conclusion to reach, okay? But my point is, I'm tired of people running over the left wing, okay? So if you're going to say we're weak, then fuck off and step in the ring, okay? So step in the ring ideologically. That is what I would greatly prefer. By the way, I did this with Michael Smirkonish a long time ago on a HuffPost, right? Mm-hmm. He's talking shit about, the wussification of America. And I was like, all right, bitch, then either get in the ring from a debate point of view or get in the octagon or whatever you want, right? Because you're saying we're wussies, and I'm saying I'll kick the shit out of you, okay?
This is the Liberal Party. Bill Maher, the person who stood up for the Liberal Party, would know that every liberal and every liberal's point of view 10 years ago was not this guy. This guy was not the Liberal Party. So the fact that like he's calling this guy this and he's calling this guy this guy is just full of it. And he seems like an angry little man. Like he seems absolutely angry.
So you tell me, you know what Michael Smirkanish did? He ran like a bitch, okay? And he went and cried to mommy, and he said, "Oh my God, he's threatening me." No, I said, "Look, I would never do it in the streets. That's nuts, okay? I'm 100% against violence, but you're not going to call us weak and get away with it."
100% against violence. 100% against violence. I will kick the out of you. Like, this guy just doesn't stop contradicting himself and his reality. Like, he just doesn't stop.
We're going to stand a goddamn post, and that's why the Young Turks are hated by the right wing, because we do not back down. We punch back. So the whole...
He punches back against violence. He just said he's against violence. After listening to this guy for a whole of 6 minutes, if you find yourself on point with him or believing the same things that he does, you might want to check yourself, because this guy is so off of it, and he is so distorted in his own reality right now that he is threatening people while preaching he's against violence. This is the most insane interview I've ever seen.
Rhetorical. I'm punching back rhetorical.
Yeah, but
my God.
And by the way, that was how I took it.
Yes.
But that's not how the world took it. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
you
know.
know that. There's
Of
a part of that was
course.
marketing. I get that. But let me go through a couple of these.
But I like triggering the right wing. I like to be, oh, yeah, no, wait, man, we're tougher. Really? I don't think so.
Bro, I don't think if anybody...
By the way, Alex Jones rated my set, right?
I remember that,
stood
yeah.
up,
Yeah, I
and
remember
all of
that.
a sudden, he wasn't so fucking tough anymore, right? So all these fake tough...
Look, like, that's fine. No one's calling you a weak little man. The problem is that, like, you're obsessed with it. Like, dude, you're the one that is, like, has all this animosity inside you that if people don't agree with me, I'm gonna fight them. Not physically. I'm against violence, but I will punch back. Like, this guy, like, he's just full of it. And he's absolutely full of it.
tough guys in the right wing.
Joe is not a fake tough guy, though, bro.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. But in regards to him being right wing, like that is the guy said he would vote for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I can't-
He found common ground on
Yeah,
that.
okay, he did, right?
Yeah.
And so that was like the last...
You're right. He voted. He said that he'd vote for a extremely liberal candidate, or the most liberal candidate in the United States running for president in the last election. But my feelings say he's a right-winger, so my feelings are right? Feelings over facts. That's where this dude lives.
semblance of him being independent.
I think he is a
Since
fake
then,
tough guy.
He's gone completely in the other
If
direction,
there is-
100% in the
if
other direction.
if there-
And by the way, he supported Trump. Trump's a lunatic. So I mean, you can't say you're
What do you
going
mean
to
he
vote for.
supported Trump?
He said that he look. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to retract it. But my understanding was he said he doesn't like either option, but between Trump and Biden, he preferred Trump.
Oh, at the time,
okay.
okay.
No, I
think
think the way he said it.
So once again, the man had an opinion again. Whoop-de-doo, dude.
I think the way he.
I might
said it
have
is
to
he thinks Trump,
delete this entire video
had
because
a
I am.
stronger way of dealing with things.
I'm
than
too
Biden
worked out
does. I don't
over
think he
this
said I would vote for Trump over Biden because
he could clarify. By the way, why doesn't he clarify? That's such an easy thing.
Oh man, maybe Joe Rogan should go have a podcast for Cenk, Uygur, and clarify his entire political, stance for Cenk's feelings. That's what Joe Rogan should do. Joe Rogan should hold a podcast, an hour long that gets into every political view he has just to make, Uygur feel better about himself. Why doesn't Joe clarify? Like, what is this guy talking about?
Tucker won't say whether he took the vaccine. Why don't you just say it? What's
Yeah.
wrong with you, right?
Yeah.
Joe, who'd you vote for? What's the big deal? I mean, you do a show that's got politics all over it.
Yeah.
Well, why would you be afraid to say?
This is the inclusive party, by the way. Inclusive, right? Inclusive, equity. We value people's feelings in their life and their life's experiences. But the second they make up that you're a right winger, these little trolls right here, like this guy, will attack you and threaten fake tough guy violence.
And if I remember what Jimmy, somebody
man.
said,
This guy is
somebody said it
full
here as
of
well.
it.
Vanessa,
Be a man.
By the way, Jimmy.
Be a man. Is that what he just said? From the party of men and women don't exist. Men and women is it's not a real thing. Like, be a man, right? Like, is that seriously what he just said?
All of a sudden
This
started
dude
showing up
has
and,
made himself look like
he
an
had
idiot.
Adverse reaction to the vaccine.
For 10 minutes.
Something happened with the
Yeah, he's
vaccine that
full
he
of
talks
shit.
about.
He
Yeah.
didn't have any adverse reaction.
So-
he's trying to make money. He's a total con man.
So
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode,
Yeah, I love this guy's. I've only watched like a couple episodes, but I like his interviews. I think it was Valuetainment. So like subscribe to his channel. If you could like and subscribe to mine, it'd be much appreciated. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think. That's if I post this. I'm still so worked up over this guy and just the absolute insanity that it would take to go on someone's show and call people names and extremist names because your feelings were upset, right? His feelings were hurt. That was it. Joe Rogan should clarify who he is. Joe Rogan should, make a podcast for our feelings. He should. Like, man, get the out of here. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it.